Well, I think those kind of video games, I guess, maybe are preparing us for the end times when shit goes to shit.
Well, I'm too old to deal with that.
Oh no, we're just going to have to get a gun and.
Yeah. Or a bottle of pills. Yeah, you know.
Well, I meant to protect ourselves. I
meant like if it's a true apocalypse.
Oh yeah, maybe.
If I don't get taken out with the blast, yes. I don't want to be around afterwards.
I don't want to deal with it. No.
Yeah.
I got no energy for the aftermath.
No, I don't want to have to eat my dog food and my dog's food in front of the dogs. That's terrible. Prior to eating the dogs.
See, we've read too much sci-fi.
That's just a horrible thing.
We've seen too much, read too much. I know too damn much.
Yeah, we know too much.
You're going to just need to push that damn button. Let's go.
Yeah, I think it's...
Let's go. Sunday's wasting.
Greetings. This is the Long in the Boot podcast, the podcast coming to you from the heel of the boot of Southwest Louisiana. I am your host, G Long, and sitting across the way, of course, is Deb.
Hello, all. You beautiful people.
They are.
They are beautiful people.
They're a good-looking bunch.
I know they are.
They really are. Hey, if you'd like to get a hold of the Long in the Boot podcast, and we welcome your comments, you can, of course, by the way, you could go to Facebook, the Long in the Boot page on Facebook.
Oh, yeah, and just engage with us there.
Engage with us there if you'd like. I know Facebook's for old fogies, but, you know, you're allowed, young people. And, yeah,
because they won't be able to TikTok soon.
Right.
Yeah.
And if you want to email, it's longintheboot@gmail.com, the website to see all the past episodes of the podcast. See, hear, whatever. Anyway, they're there, and you just go to longintheboot.com, and you can do that.
That's the old-fashioned way.
And then finally, the old-fashioned way would be you could call us at 337-502-9011. And if I'm not busy, I'll actually answer the phone. But
yes, or leave us a recorded message.
Yeah, don't call after 8 p.m. Central Time.
No, don't call after 7.
Really,
actually, after 6. Yeah, we're okay. That's how old we are.
I think 6.
Don't call after 6. If the people you're calling are 60.
Don't call after 6.
There you go.
They may have gone to bed.
Certainly contemplating by that point.
Well, at least asleep on the couch, and you don't want a grouchy couch nap person right after they woke up.
Yeah,
that would be terrible.
True. And the dogs would bark, and it would be a whole ordeal.
Yep.
Exactly. All right. Now you've done the housekeeping.
I have. It's been a crazy week.
Has it?
Yeah.
Oh, like not for us personally.
No.
Well, except for the damn. You know what? It has been a crazy week.
It was mildly crazy.
Monday was ridiculous. It was $1,000 day.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Between April 15th and the tax day and the plumbing.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that.
And you had to get a sub quick and get out of school and come back home. The plumber was coming.
I had to give Uncle Sam money.
Yeah.
I had to give the plumbers money, and they came quickly.
Which didn't hurt nearly as much.
And did about the same, actually. It's a push.
It was about the same price, but at least the plumbing. I mean,
yeah,
I saw the result.
Yeah.
I saw the result.
I don't see the result of the Uncle Sam money.
Well, I get results from my Uncle Sam money. I see it go to the Ukraine. I see it go to Israel. I see it not go to the wall, I guess. I don't know what they're doing about that shit.
And reliable, I think. I keep wanting to say.
Reliable plumbing?
Yeah. I keep wanting to say reliant, but I think it's reliable.
You don't even know.
I know. It's terrible.
You wrote the check. It was an actual physical check.
Yeah, I did. I know that's weird, huh?
Well, no, because they charge more if you use a card.
Oh, that's true. Good point.
Yeah.
Wow. Do you know how many reliable plumbings there are in
So you're saying plumbers aren't creative with their names?
Well, I guess it's a common thing, right?
I guess it's an advertisement. We are reliable, right?
Yeah, they were. They did great.
They were. They showed up. They showed up within an hour of you calling, I think. And they have a friend who works for them. We didn't even realize that. The mother of some of our kids' friends.
Yeah.
Yeah. And former students.
Yes.
If they were our kids' friends, they're our former students too.
I'm going to find it, though, because now
you want to give them a little plug?
I do.
Okay. All right.
And
always when you get good service, you should tell everybody.
I should have been better prepared.
You were not. Well, you said you were prepared for the podcast, so I just believed you because I have nothing.
You just believed me?
I probably shouldn't do that either, huh?
Yeah, well, probably not. Probably not a good idea. How about Advantage Plumbing? Was it Advantage Plumbing?
You don't even know.
I can't remember.
And
now.
the check hasn't gone through yet, so I can't even do that. All right. Well, some plumbers showed up at our house. They climbed under there. They got in the muck and the mush and fixed some shit. Fixed something we didn't even know was broken, too.
Yeah, that's true.
When the snake guy came out.
If I had my phone, I could be absolutely positive. But you know what?
What?
I think that's probably it.
All right. Well, there you go.
Advantage Plumbing.
That's enough of that.
I will look one more time just to make sure.
We have been doing some silly podcasts, silly topics.
We have.
Yeah, some history. Well, you know what we like to do, the past, the present, the future. I think this time it's piled up. It's piled up.
It's piled up.
It has. The mountain of feces in the state of Louisiana has piled to a level where we can no longer ignore it.
We're having to dig up.
Yeah, I think we're having to dig out of this shit.
Well, luckily, we didn't have a feces problem.
No, not
when it
us
came
personally.
To our
We just
plumbing. And it is Advantage Plumbing, by the way.
Okay. Advantage Plumbing. Are they out of the Bluff? Or
yeah, they're in Moss Bluff.
Oh, okay.
And for what they were doing and how
it.
long they were doing it, I'm not going to say the amount, but it seemed fair.
I said it.
Oh, did you?
I'm pretty sure I did. I said the day cost us $1,000 split between the two.
That's true.
So there you go. Do the math, people.
And we saw the results of.
You didn't know you were going to have to do math when you came here.
God, right?
Yeah, state of Louisiana wants you to be prepared for that too.
Okay,
they're going to teach you things.
Let me kill that webpage. Anyway, so
all right,
but yeah, we're digging up in a huge pile of crap because it's too much. There's just too much.
They're at a rapid breakneck pace right now. The little dictator that got elected now is just pushing.
Yeah.
And usually bureaucracy doesn't move that fast, so it scares me when it does.
Well, what scares me is something that actually comes from last podcast. I led off, I closed with
wrapped up with,
ended, went out on Gen Z and how Gen Z is tilting more and more towards being, approving of a dictatorship of style of government.
Oh, yeah, I do remember that discussion.
And that's kind of scary. And then with this new governor, who, if you'll hearken back and listen to a past podcast.
Oh, I'm sure we talked about it.
I mentioned that he was going to be Jindal 2.0.
Yeah.
What I didn't realize it's Jindal 2.0 with more.
With AI.
2.0 to be. Yeah, that's right, with AI.
With AI. They're just going to do everything now.
But they're pulling a flim flam on the people of Louisiana, and it's actually starting to really wear on me already.
Okay, so where are you going to start? Are you starting with the education side of his changes? Are you starting with the information pieces?
I'll get to education.
All right, because that seems to be the biggest one right now.
Right, but really, you might as well go to the nut of the situation.
Ooh,
thank you very much.
Nice usage. And you said I was dirty.
And it's the Constitutional Convention.
Yes, that hasn't happened in this state since the 70s. Like 70s. Yeah,
it was the 70s,
I think.
And there is no question that our Constitution must have been very flawed when it was done, because there have been 200 amendments since it was approved.
Actually, wasn't it? Our state is the state that's had the most constitutional
in 50 years, 200 amendments.
Wow. Okay.
So
trying to repair things. They were putting Band-Aids on it.
And many more have been proposed, but they have to be voted on by the people, and it has to be a 2/3 approval.
Oh, so the audience is going to have to be responsible for whether this happens.
Well, it turns out that in a democracy, citizens are responsible for making sure the democracy continues.
Bullshit.
No, it's true. It's civics 101, dear.
I don't see it, though. I don't see evidence.
Oh, no.
That's
nobody's obeying that.
I don't see evidence.
That is.
My young people aren't going to vote. I mean, they're mostly 17, some of them 18 already.
I mean, there are
no intention of voting.
Sayings and not solid sayings. And one of, what was it, Al Gore's the other day.
Yes.
I should share this with everyone. Al Gore has a rule about holes. He was talking about climate change, but he said, Well, they've forgotten the first word and the first
rule.
law and the first rule of holes. Stop digging down. The rule of holes. So
if you find yourself in one, stop digging.
Yeah, stop digging. Stop digging. Stop digging down.
I think I heard the quote too.
But anyway, point is, Al Gore has rules for digging holes.
He's a politician. He should.
Louisiana probably should have that rule, actually.
I think so.
But we're too busy digging up from all the feces that's falling on our head.
That is currently falling on us. Okay.
Yes. Anyway, so they're going to have a constitutional convention. And of course, if you think about it, obviously these people are going to take time and deliberate.
Well, sure. It's a big task.
Take a very large time to figure this out, and really to make sure that they don't have any problems like they had in the one that was approved in 1974, because one of the things was they did it quickly in 1974. Well, the constitutional I don't have the
I thought you were fixing to give me some measure here.
It's okay.
Okay.
It was not this quick.
Okay.
They're going to tack on a couple of weeks on the regular session.
Oh, a couple of weeks to do this?
A couple of weeks.
Okay.
To have a constitutional convention.
For the whole states.
The last 2 weeks of the legislative session, 14 days.
2 weeks. Okay.
And they're saying to revise a 50-year-old document. They're just going to revise it.
Tweak it.
They're not going to. So it's sort of like an amendment on the Constitution.
Okay.
Because it'll still have to be voted on. Anything they come up with in this thing will have to be voted on by the people.
Will this be an all or nothing kind of thing? You know how they push things through all the time in the legislature where it's like, we really want this to happen. I think this is a good thing, but then you put all this pork in there and I don't want to vote for that, but you got to vote for it along with it.
Well, in Louisiana right now, the big thing that people who want to spend our money are always upset about is that they can only take money from higher education and the healthcare system when they want to cut the budget.
So for the entire state's budget, the only two places they're allowed to cut are the place where we take care of our citizens and where we educate our citizens.
Now, I don't think they're going to worry about that end of it. I think what they're going to eventually want to go after is reducing homestead exemption. Possibly, there's a lot of other things as well to protect some of the other rules they're trying to get through, which I'll go over in just a second.
Oh, so you figure they're just going to have other places they want to be able to cut.
Well, what they're doing is they're preparing the ground.
Yeah, it's the foundation.
So that they can get these other things done that they want to without being stopped by the Constitution.
Oh, that pesky thing gets in the way.
It gets in the way.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay. So citizens need to be aware as they go into the voting
2 weeks. 2 weeks, they're going to fix the Constitution that has been amended, again, 200 times.
So they're going to quit. You know what? They're going to run it through AI, see what it pops out, and tweak that. Just clean that up and not do the whole job.
Well, yeah, that's true.
I mean, AI should be able to tell them logically what.
But in November, voters would be the ones to decide if anything they did.
All right.
So that's setting the groundwork for some of these other bills. And the one that really stands out, there's a couple. We can talk about. We can do the school, or we can talk about the open records bill.
Well, I think that one is its own thing. So yes, because schools, there's several parts to that, I believe.
Yeah, there are.
Okay.
All right. So with encouragement by our governor, Landry, they're trying to make it so that open records are no longer available to the public in Louisiana. It would exempt all records by elected officials in all fields, not just the legislature, your commissions, these like electric commissions where you never have problems, right?
Yeah, because BECI could just then not have to produce any paperwork and documentation.
And of course, democracy dies in the dark. That has been a statement for I don't even know how long. I forget who said it.
So
somebody
who knew something. If they're working in the shadows, then the people, they work for us.
The public records and open meeting laws that we currently have, which could go away with a new constitution.
We don't know.
We don't know.
It's a surprise.
It allows any citizen to see what their government's doing and how public money is being spent. But several bills this year are trying to hide that. One bill in particular would hide all of it. Her name is Heather Cloud.
Where is Heather from?
Turkey Creek.
Louisiana.
Yep.
Okay,
It's Senate Bill 482.
What parish is that? Do you know?
Nope.
All right. I'll go find out.
Yeah, go ahead. Wherever it's from, I don't care. She's horrible. I hate her. Okay. Senator Heather Cloud, backed by the governor, would make any records reflecting advisory opinions, recommendations, or deliberations comprising part of a process by which governmental decisions and policies are formulated would no longer be available to any public group. Well, that's everything.
That's all things.
Yeah. And now, in some states where corruption's a problem, not Louisiana.
Oh, no, it won't be a problem for us. She's from Evangeline Parish.
Well, Louisiana just has such an exemplary record of no corruption.
Oh, yeah, our past. We don't have a pattern of behavior in this area at all.
You know, our former governor going to prison, that was a little a faux pas, if you will.
We seem to like those bad boys.
Oh.
As a country, not just Louisiana. As a country, we seem to like the bad boys. Did you hear?
This would also prevent the news
from
doing their job.
Which used to be a watchdog role. They used to have an animosity between politicians and the media, the news people, because that their job was to report when they were doing things behind the scene that we, the people who they work for, should be.
They work for us.
I don't think we can say it.
They work
I could
for
say it more,
us.
But we all need to be saying it. I like that chant. I think that should be the ongoing mantra.
Well, it's you work for us.
Yeah. Now, when you're in front of them,
you work for us. I don't know what they're. Okay.
Well, this lady though obviously was elected in Evangeline Parish in Turkey Creek. It's a village. Population of 441 in
Village
2010.
Of idiots, apparently.
That 441 in 2010, up from 356 people in 2000. It's booming in Turkey Creek.
Booming.
So how did she get? Well, all right.
Money.
Yeah,
it's going to be money and.
Does it say when she was elected?
No, I don't even care.
Well, no, I'm curious if she's one of Landry's.
But St. Tammany Parish. Which is not too far from Evangeline Parish.
Okay.
The corruption over there is terrible. If you go and just look up those areas in Louisiana and locally,
well,
I'm not talking about state.
I was
I'm talking about local stuff.
I was thinking about the Elton Mayor
exactly just like that
right now. So they wouldn't be able to get any information.
You would never be able to find out if a person was corrupt, because even if there was a possibility they were, you're not going to be allowed to get the records.
Used to be journalists would follow paper trails. They'd follow the money. They'd follow the paper trails. But there won't be a paper trail. There won't even be a digital trail. You won't be able to get it.
Yeah.
Okay. Plain and simple.
With no public records, no journalism can happen.
Yes. Well, but journalism, but they're not really investigating anymore. They are.
We still have people who investigate. Few. It's not nearly as many. But the problem is, of course, is politicians don't like journalists who actually journal.
Yeah.
And so they also are wanting to raise the fees. That's another bill where they're talking about raising the fees for public information. So, like, if you request emails between,
you have to pay 25 cents a copy or something.
Oh no, it's way more. It's
I remember when we had to get medical records for our son when he had his skull fracture, and I had to pay like $25. It was a pretty hefty package of documents, but I had to pay $25.
Now, Governor Landry, and this gives you an idea of what I'm talking about with this hiding stuff. They asked him about it. Governor Landry released a lengthy statement railing against journalists for being biased.
For the people. Biased for
and
us.
Claiming that the new law
that he's proposed,
is designed to bring transparency to the taxpayer as the government spends their precious tax dollars.
How does it bring transparency if we can't find out where it's going?
It's exactly the opposite.
So he's just going to say it. And eventually we'll just believe that.
The governor also said the media refuses to include our full statement in their articles, shielding the people of Louisiana from the full picture. Now, the channel I'm looking at, in fact, did have his full statement. It's Lee Zurich. Lee Zurich does journalism,
Yes,
right?
I know that name.
Louisiana journalist,
Okay.
a real one. He says that this isn't about clearing up the law. This is about blocking the media. More importantly, blocking voters, constituents, and others from accountability, from the accountability of their elected officials. That's it. I mean, there's no other reason to do it. Landry says that currently the laws allow journalists to weaponize speech.
Okay. So if it goes against them, then they're victims. Landry and all the politicians that push through crap that they shouldn't be doing, they're victims of the truth.
Yeah. Landry said, talking about the laws that protect journalists. Well, over time, these laws have become weaponized to stifle deliberative speech.
Deliberative speech. Okay.
No journalist allows his or her readers the notes and discussions of the person they interview or their emails back and forth with editors and coworkers. We don't do that to journalists. Yeah, well, I don't elect journalists.
Yeah, and they're not taking my tax money and spending it.
They're not sticking their hand in my pocket.
They're not listening to lobbyists to influence me. And okay, wow.
He said, during my time as Attorney General, we had to hire 2 lawyers, and they worked full time answering sometimes senseless requests from people with no connection to our state. What?
So because you thought...
So if the New York Times calls for freedom of information, no, you don't need to know that. You don't have anything to do with Louisiana.
So you think that what the public is asking for is senseless to you, therefore we shouldn't have to. You shouldn't have to provide it. Even
if there are a bunch of frivolous requests for public information,
you don't know what those people are doing.
You don't know what those people are doing, and so in order to deal with that, you want to shut off all access
to everything.
That's what dictators do.
That is what little dictators do.
No question.
All right.
So, yeah, there you go. You folks need to wake up and start realizing what's going on. This isn't over. This is going to continue. This is going to be worse than Jindal when it's all said and done.
Well, then how can the people stop that one? I mean, we've got the Constitution.
You got a legislature. You've got to
contact. You got to contact your representatives.
Press your representatives for sure, because you shouldn't agree with the people losing the right to know.
Yeah, it's a basic.
That's absolute.
It's basic in the democracy.
It's chilling. It's chilling to me. This is what dictators in like Venezuela do: shut down the press, which is in effect what you're doing if the press can't access
the information,
open records for people who work for us.
Exactly. I think about Winston Smith and how the news is edited in 1984, and
yeah,
right. Just take it out, change the history.
It's just crazy.
Okay, so they're very vocal about that. They're willing to tell us that that's what they're doing. So
yeah,
there's no excuse. I am hearing people on TV. I am hearing a lot of backlash against that one. Not so much about anything else, but the open records.
Well, that one is prime. If that one happens, then all the rest of the stuff it doesn't matter. Although I wasn't going to talk about it, but we should point out that a law was already passed, and it's going to be signed for sure, that allows the governor to choose the members of the Board of Ethics. Now, remember, the Board of Ethics did find Governor Landry had violated rules and ethics with his purchase of a vehicle with campaign funds. You can look it up.
Okay, so he bought a vehicle with the money that he was given to run for office.
Yeah,
and that's a violation of ethics. I couldn't do that as a teacher. Like if I got money from the school to, supply my classroom, I couldn't use that money myself to, I don't know, buy a meal or.
If it's designated campaign funds, you can't do that.
I know. We all know.
We can't even get, if some parent was really grateful and showed up and said, I just want to give you this $50 gift card. I can't take it.
No, I can take up to 75.
Oh, is it 75
for the year? I don't know that you can take it from one person.
Okay, then change the amount. Okay. If that parent wanted to give me $100,
yeah,
nope, can't do it.
Here's a go to Mazen's.
Yeah,
go eat $100. There you go. No, we couldn't take that.
No,
of course not.
Nope.
I would feel bad anyway.
But I just wouldn't say anything.
All right. We call you little Landry then.
Well, look, if they can break it, why can't I? I watched the video.
Because
do they
you
not
weren't
watch
elected.
the video?
You weren't elected.
I'll bet you.
They have to watch the video. He probably made an
I
intern.
bet they don't.
An intern did it.
I'll bet the politicians
They
do
don't
not
sit there and
They don't watch that ethics thing. They have an assistant watch it.
Oh, yeah. Well, it has
answer the
gotten better,
questions.
though. It has gotten better. We've been watching them for a long time now.
Oh, yeah.
and
They've got it up to like
upped their game.
1990s
They've upped their
technology.
game,
It's
yeah.
nice.
Mhm. All right. So those two, Constitution,
Yep.
communication, access to information,
The one. Yeah,
the big
exactly.
one. All right. Now you want to move into our realm?
What, education? Yeah.
I mean, we already have In God We Trust. So
Well, we already talked last episode about the money thing for homeschooling.
okay. Have you done a little more into?
So there's basically going to be 3 levels of homeschooling. If you pull your kid for homeschooling, as currently written in these various bills, and there's so many right now,
I'm sure there are. It's
but
confusing.
basically what it comes down to is like $7,500 for regular ed kids,
Okay.
$15,000 for special ed. So
it's double if your child has
Yes.
special needs. It's not hard to get that label.
but still, that would be money taken directly out of
Whatever
public education funds. And that's any parent with no training or anything could qualify for this.
Okay. As it's written right now. But there's oversight, right? I mean, they have to buy a certain curriculum or they have to show where that money is going.
Right. You have to have an approved curriculum to homeschool.
Okay.
At least right now.
Well, what? No, if they're about to give free rein to parents, they have to have rules. You have to have oversight. Good God, I have to give, all right.
The House Committee on Education approved a bill that will end the requirement that requires state approval for homeschooling curriculums.
So we're going to get rid of
anything. There's no requirement.
You can get a curriculum anywhere.
Right. And they already have, like, they don't have to take the same kind of tests.
I did hear something about that in the ACT score, but I thought they were leveling that out and making it equal. Homeschool kids,
no, they're
the same. Because right now, homeschool kids have to have 2 points higher on their ACT.
On the ACT.
But I'm
talking about end of year testing.
We have EOC, but why would a homeschool student have EOC?
Shouldn't they? If the state requires my kid in public education to do it, every kid in education should have to do it. That's the way it should work.
Equality. Because isn't that what is his goal here?
Oh, to break public education.
No. What is his said goal?
Oh, he didn't.
To give parents, because
it's to give parents. He says parents should be the first to make their decisions. Should take all the weight, or they should be recognized as being the number one thing in child's education. Well, I just asked one question, and if you take offense at this, you shouldn't, whoever you are. But what if you're just a stupid, dumb parent?
Well, I would hope you would realize that your child
put $7,500.
Oh, for the year, and you don't have to prove where any of that money goes.
If this thing gets passed.
If it gets passed, currently you would, I would think.
Currently, there is a requirement that a home study program be approved by the Bessie board.
Okay. The same people who do our stuff.
And there's a list of them. You can actually go to Bessie and look up curriculums
that are approved. And you could purchase and, so currently they do there's a voucher system, right? So parents would get that money.
No, there's no voucher system right now.
Well, your voucher, our state gives you a voucher to go to a private school if you want.
But we're talking about individual parents.
Yes. Okay.
$7,500 a pop.
Or $15,000
if your kid's special ed, and there's another amount in the middle, but I don't remember what. Okay, well, think about
the motivation for a family that doesn't make a lot to.
And
I would hope you would think about your child's education more than that.
Well, I would hope so too, but what we're going to see is this huge problem. The problem is going to be that colleges require certain things.
Sure, there's going to be an issue there in the future.
And I wonder in the future if colleges are going to say, look, what curriculum did you get your degree in?
Oh, like it has to be. Yeah, like you have to bring a certain kind of calculator to the ACT. You're going to have a certain kind of background.
Yeah.
So, that might be one way to handle it. But see, they're looking for accountability too.
But my problem is the state's not. in the state's effort to wreck public education,
or to give parents
because what you're going to have happen, and this has already been proven when Jindal got his vouchers put through. Parents will take their $7,500. Parents that already have money, but they don't have private school money quite
yet. Okay.
But that $7,500 would go a long way in paying tuition at a private school.
But those kids are going to still be in an accredited location and learning, but that's
they
going
have
to
different
leave,
requirements,
and that's going to leave the public school with less funds.
Correct.
Yes. Okay.
And
fewer funds.
I wasn't going to point.
It just hit me, but my mind is turning because I'm thinking about all the implications of this. So I agree. He does want to tear down public education.
There's just like Jindal did.
Yes, just like Jindal, and give parents choice because all of the ills.
Well, that's what you call it.
Well, he says
parental choice, but it's only a choice for parents of means. Because $7,500 isn't going to be enough. What'll happen is the same thing happened with college. What'll happen is the cost of going to these various private schools will go
rise
up
because they're
going to keep out students that would bring their school down.
Yeah.
Now they'll still, of course, have certain students that get in for athletics and other things.
Okay.
But they are going to be able to tell most kids who might be able to go there, oh, I'm sorry, you don't meet our qualifications. Mm-hmm. Here's an entry test. Take it. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, you didn't score high enough.
But athletes don't have to take that test.
Okay, but you do have two different things. And both things, homeschool parents who aren't of means, really, and they're going to homeschool their kids because they're getting extra money. And if you've got 3 children, that's a hefty little yearly salary.
Correct. And my thing is, if you want to do that, great. You should have to meet the same qualifications.
That's all.
Of the school that you're accusing of being bad. If you're saying that thing is broken,
and I'm
going to do the thing instead myself.
Yes.
You should have to meet the same requirements of the thing that's broken.
Your student, and you should have to hold accountability for your student and the whole.
And this is all part of an effort to keep people. Again, this goes back dumbed down. This is a class thing. It's not about education.
It's about socioeconomic.
Yes.
Levels. Hierarchy. It's the hierarchy.
Yes.
So do you think we're going for a 2 hierarchy system like back Middle Ages? Like get rid of the middle class?
We're going back to tribalism.
Ah, okay.
Because what you're going to have are these schools, these small schools of 10, 12, 15 kids.
Yeah, they're going to get together in neighborhoods.
Right. And they're going to be educated however the parents want to educate
those
them.
People
we talk about, well, those damn liberal teachers filling those kids' heads up with liberal ideas. Well, what if you've got a firebrand right-wing kook who fills their kid up with hateful
it works any level.
Hateful rhetoric based on their twisted version of the Bible? I mean, that's just as bad.
All of it.
And so now the state's like, no, you go ahead and homeschool your kid. Go ahead.
Okay. So we've got the homeschoolers leaving. We've got the ones going to private schools or religious schools leaving. And then that leaves the public schools to continue to deteriorate, which is why they want to remove them. So we're not going to try to
And don't forget,
fix this.
It's also going to cause everybody to spend more money because let's say you have a school that's $7,500. You get your $7,500 and you put your kid in that school. Well, the school very quickly is going to realize, well, look, they've got $7,500 already. Mm-hmm. We've been charging $7,500. Let's do this. Let's raise our rates $2,000 a year to $9,000.
And then the parents can make monthly payments.
That's right.
They're just going to make little payments.
That's right. We're going to privatize education.
Because really what we want and what every business in this country wants is a monthly subscription.
Yes.
Nobody wants you to just buy something outright. You won't own anything.
You need to make a monthly payment.
Everything is a monthly subscription.
That's correct.
So I didn't mean to get off the topic, but that's, yeah. Okay, so schools now are left to,
So no socialization, by the way, of a generation of kids.
Well, no, there'll be socialization.
Except in their own little groups.
In their own little pod, in their own little tribe, as you said.
And they'll otherize everybody else.
Yes, because we know when somebody's different that you're fearful of them and you hate them automatically because they're different.
Now, and that falls right into the next story. actually.
Okay. You know what though?
Oh, go ahead.
It was, hang on. What was it? Oh, damn. You made me forget what I was going to say. You always do that to me.
I did.
I had a valid idea.
Let the record show that I did absolutely nothing.
Yeah. Took away my.
I didn't pull out any body parts and wave them around. I didn't do anything. I was just sitting here.
Damn it. Damn it. Okay. Maybe it'll come back to me.
All right. Legislation to remove a 30-minute work break for minors is advancing through the legislature. Those are for the kids who can't go to special school, the low-wage kids.
They have to actually work.
What do you mean you need a 30-minute meal break?
So how dare you ask for that? That was something that unions fought for, people.
Well, this is
your forefathers fought for that.
Remember, this is for minors. ORS, not minors.
They fought for it too.
Minors and
minors.
Minors in Louisiana would just drown.
Yes.
But anyway, minors who work 5 or more hours get a 30-minute work break under the law.
Okay.
Unpaid, by the way.
You know,
they don't have to get paid for this.
I worked in the service industry.
I know.
You don't really get that damn break.
Don't.
You don't get that.
Anyway.
Maybe 5 minutes.
The bill's author, Denham Springs Representative Roger Wilder, said of the businesses he owns in Louisiana, the required break forces his employees who want to work to lose 30 minutes of pay.
No, that's the argument.
That's the reason?
Well, you know what then? Damn it. I want Chick-fil-A and Hobby Lobby open on Sunday. That will allow those poor little kids.
Remember, these are minors.
To get extra pay.
Again, minors, children. How dare. Look, if a child wants to work in a coal mine, who am I to stand in his way?
If he wants to work a full 6 straight hours without a break.
Roger Wilder also said, well, not many people want to work right now, and the ones that do, we're just telling them to sit down and forfeit a big old chunk of their paycheck when they don't want to. Big old chunk of their paycheck when they don't want to.
Wait, our state legislatures just said no again to a increase in the minimum wage. Actually, they don't deal with it. The national is $7.25.
Correct.
And the state of Louisiana doesn't have a minimum wage.
No, it's the federal.
They just let it default to the federal level.
Correct.
And they don't want to deal with that bullshit.
Nope.
People need a raise.
Hang on, it gets better.
Oh my gosh.
Shreveport Representative Tammy Phelps questioned Wilder if he considers a 16 or a 17-year-old a young adult. He countered that the emancipation age is 16 and you're allowed to get married at 16. You're allowed to drive at 16. These are all adult actions, he said. With parental consent, said Phelps. Absolutely, but you also have parental consent when they want to sign a work permit to go to work. Well, but they're a minor. That's another person. Houghton Representative Dodie Horton, psycho, supports the bill because she wants to ensure the state allows private businesses to operate as they see fit.
Oh, again.
If I want to chain the kid to that grill.
Again, no oversight.
No, again, this affects a group of people that they look down on. That's all it is.
All right. We got to keep them down.
Yeah. Keep the little people down. Shut up, little people.
Uh-huh.
Stay in your homes. Only take the medication that's assigned to you.
Well, that's running out too. We don't. We don't have enough of that as well.
So,
okay. Are we keeping kids down in any other way?
It depends. It depends on if they pay attention. We have the proposed law that will give teachers the option to carry guns in the classroom.
And you know what? They took away the fee for all that.
Well, not for teachers.
Well, you still have to have a carry conceal?
Teachers will actually have to take a class.
Oh, wow.
It'll probably be a PowerPoint.
It probably will be more. I know, right? Make sure you tune in for this Zoom meeting and pretend like you're cocking your gun.
More than 30 states across the country have already put guns in teachers' hands.
Wow.
30 states?
I didn't realize that.
Opponents worry stripping schools from their gun-free zone will stir more harm than good. Good point, right?
All right.
Representative Lauren Ventrella says having teachers armed during an active shooting could save lives when police are just minutes away. Well, yeah, that's one possibility.
That is.
Again, I understand.
In Uvalde, maybe something.
I understand that school shootings happen. I get that.
Percentage-wise.
How far are we going to go? Because I think.
Well, I mean, we got our little metal detectors. We get teachers carrying weapons.
I'll tell you what the deal is. you got legislators going, we need to make our schools safer. And schools are like, well, what we need then is a stockade fence around the property
We have
with automatic gates.
we have
and they're like,
libraries.
well, that's too expensive. What else can we do? And eventually somebody said, well, I suppose we could just give guns to the teachers.
Oh, that's the last that's the last line of defense.
And no, then several other people go, finally. And
We did turn libraries into little prison rooms.
yeah, we did.
We got that.
We have
So
that.
you
And we're
can-
also
you
getting
can
rid of
put them
books.
in a little cell.
We're also getting rid of books.
We're getting rid of books.
Any
Everything's
book
digital.
that causes, well, no, any book that causes
Oh,
anyone
yeah,
to
no, library books. Yes,
think.
absolutely. It's like we're
know.
getting rid of textbooks too, people.
I love what she said. I think that the presence of a gun, the picture of a gun, the visual, it evokes a lot of emotion in people.
Okay.
Especially if it's pointed at you.
All right. Let's move from there. That's a
You have to go to
touchy,
concealed
touchy,
carry training.
terrifying subject.
You will have to go to concealed carry training,
Okay.
active shooter training, and de-escalation courses.
Well, I think shouldn't all teachers just have a de-escalation course? Period.
I think everybody
Actually,
needs that
everybody
these days.
needs that in all business. A de-escalation course.
I don't know that it's going to make
It's
the school
really
any safer.
what's needed is a communication course for that. That's what de-escalation is. It's communication in an effective way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, there are some people who can be trusted with it, but I just think having the gun in the room invites a problem.
Well, sure. Schools are a microcosm
Well,
of society.
How are you going to get young people to trust you if they know?
If they know you have,
it's kind of weird.
That's really complicated. It's very simplistic.
It's a psychological conundrum.
Yeah, but it's just very simplistic for the public in general, just to go, well, if teachers just had damn guns, this wouldn't have happened. It's
true.
much more complicated than that.
Yeah.
And maybe if little Johnny had had some decent help at home, he wouldn't have had to bring it into our schools.
True.
So then you got the family issue that goes along with a lot of these shootings.
Oh, absolutely. It
I
is
say a
shootings.
lot. I don't.
It's family.
It's probably all of them.
I rarely is somebody like Johnny had a perfect family and
Yeah.
he went on a drive-by.
Yeah.
It just doesn't happen.
Okay, so teachers carrying guns. All
Now, you
right.
might think Louisiana is just going full on dictatorship with all these stories, but
Hmm?
in the midst of all of this crap,
Okay.
a flower blooms.
What do we have that's positive?
Louisiana bill
Besides Jazz
advances
Fest.
to rid testing to become a florist.
Oh, all right.
Currently, to become a florist, a cutter of flowers,
All right.
you have to take a test and get a license.
Okay.
And
I'm sure. I guess it's a tax.
it's a tax, exactly what it is. But it's crazy that a person can't sell a dozen roses in a vase without a license.
They're violating a law if they do.
Well,
They could be fined.
Grocery stores in Louisiana that sell flowers, there is a licensed florist on staff. They're in that building
Oh,
somewhere.
they
They have to be there.
All right.
How about that? So that's why when you go to get an ornament or a dozen roses for your wife right before midnight because you forgot,
Yeah.
and there's no flowers and nobody's selling them and you can't buy them, it's because the florist is gone.
Wow. Okay. The florist isn't there. So the florist on the level of a
Now,
pharmacist.
that's what it says in the story. I don't believe that for a minute. I bet you if you walk into Kroger's
And there's
you
not
go
a
grab a
florist.
vase of flowers
Yeah.
at midnight on a Sunday and walk up to the front, they're going to ring it up and
They're
you're
gonna
going to
sell
walk
it
out
to
the
you.
door with it.
So they violated.
So everybody's just breaking the law
Okay,
anyway.
but you know what? You know what you can't do? You cannot braid hair in this state without a permit.
right.
That is a $5,000 fine.
Oof.
They just had a challenge to that, but judge dismissed the challenge to the Louisiana hair braiding license. Hair braiders are going to appeal.
They should.
Yeah.
That should be buyer beware.
They have incredibly strict occupational licensing restrictions in this state for hair braiders.
That's so weird.
I want to say I'd heard this story, but I actually hadn't gone to look it up because I thought you had so much stuff this day that
Well, we've already been talking for
we really have.
Oh, by the way, Louisiana was the only state in the entire nation that required a license to be a florist.
The only state
I bet it was an amendment.
to their constitution. I'll bet it was. Well, I hope that the hair braiders stand firm, because it really is. It's like $2,000 or something to get their license. It's crazy. 500 hours of braiding.
I don't care what you're doing to somebody's hair. If they're willing to let you do it, it should be A-OK. And if you, as a free American, want to engage in hair braiding, in business, in a business relationship with the person who wants you to braid their hair, no one should come in. That is economics 101. That is Adam Smith.
People put Botox needles in your face or something. That's
it's just
not
hair.
The Botox thing is freaky. The fact that people will go to anybody and let them inject them, that one is weird. That one should be regulated. You need to go after those people.
But hair is buyer beware.
Well, and we're not talking about like lye and stuff. I mean,
no, it's not the same as it was.
Putting out, they don't do that crap anymore. So
thank God.
Yeah, nobody's burning anybody. They're just braiding their hair.
It's not even just braiding; it's also cutting and.
Oh, yeah, that's true. And you can't do that in your home without a license.
That's right.
Absolutely, I know that's a big deal because there was a whole stink around here about 15 years ago.
So if you do that
somebody
in your
cutting
home,
hair in their home, and some other hairdresser got all.
And
puffy.
Again, that should be something that's between you and the person cutting your hair.
If they're bad at cutting hair, people won't go to them.
That's right. If you're willing to give up an X amount of dollars for a service that was done for you, and that person is willing to take your dollars at that rate, that is economics in its purest form.
Just let it go.
The only thing purer than that would be if somebody cut your hair and you gave them like a chicken.
Well, if you got a barter system that works for you, hey man, all more power to you. You said we're going back to little tribes.
It is.
We're going to educate our little people. Yep. We're going to grow chickens and eggs and
we're going to yell
vegetables
and talk about how everybody
around us is wrong, and
we need a new middle, people. We need a new middle.
We do. We're so divided. I can't. It's so sad.
It is. It's very sad.
You know what? I like variety in people. I like talking to somebody who has different viewpoints.
I don't like extremists.
Reasonable. Yeah, I don't like extremists.
I don't like extremists.
I can't do that. I can't listen to somebody hating on somebody else all the time. You know those people. Yeah. It's just always negative.
And just because someone disagrees with my view at this point, I'm going to go, okay.
Okay, that's you. Now, and you do have a viewpoint about Louisiana politics.
I certainly do.
And I do hope that they see the reason for that opinion and that they can agree with the idea that
because we can be better. It's real simple.
The whole state.
It's real simple.
They're tearing us down.
What happened to honor? What happened to just simple common sense?
We used to be one up above Mississippi, folks. We're about to drop down. We're about to be Mississippi.
We're ahead of Mississippi and chlamydia. Don't forget.
And venereal.
So, number one, baby. And gonorrhea, if we work hard and we don't wear protection, I think we can rise to number one.
And how do we fix this? Education. But do you think, well, it's not going to get taught.
Education.
It's obviously not getting taught now to a level to keep people from getting it.
I just can't wait till we have that.
Are they overcome by their desires and emotions and their common sense and idea that they might catch something?
What's going to be great is they're going to put those 10 commandments in our classroom. Little kids are going to ask questions that are going to be very difficult for the teacher to answer without offending somebody.
Then a teacher's going to get into a situation.
Yes, indeed.
So wait, because we already have in God we trust up.
Well, I'm thinking
your argument for that is that's our motto.
Thou shalt have no other gods before me.
Yeah, and
that immediately implies that
somebody has to ask which God. Who's God?
Exactly.
Okay, so we put those up. Normally, you have to have your classroom like procedures and your classroom rules. Usually, there is a poster of that up. So, is this in contradiction to that, or are the 10 Commandments going to be the teacher's class rules? I mean,
that's a good idea.
Think about how that would work.
I don't think adultery is going to be a problem.
We read about it. I mean, we're in Gatsby. We got adultery there. We just did Crucible. We had adultery there.
There's coveting.
There's infidelity. Infidelity. But you know what? My students learned those words. They learned the definition of infidelity and adultery and So
I would like to have a modern version. I would like a modern version of the 10 Commandments. That would be kind of cool.
Okay. Well, it's not going to, I don't know why they're doing it. Actually, I do.
Thou shalt not bang others while being married.
The lady, and I wish we could have gotten it.
Unless it's agreed to by all parties. All parties.
See, it's a very tolerant
but that's the problem, right?
Yeah.
There's going to be questions.
There's going to be questions.
Oh, man, is there ever?
The lady on TV the other night talking about a lot of this in the state of Louisiana said that this is all, the Ten Commandments bill, all of these little silly things are all just designed to take away notice, like to keep us from watching what's really going on, the real stuff that's going through.
Correct.
That's going to be the problems. And she said it's by design.
By design.
Absolutely distracting us.
They're distracting everybody with all of it. In fact, on the world stage, too.
Oh, yeah. It happened. Well, that's where they understand it from. That's how they learned it.
Yeah, it works. Yeah, we don't need peace. You know, if any of those countries around Gaza would just open their borders and say, hey, come on in. We'll protect you. I don't know what's
happening in your space.
But Egypt, Jordan, and Iran could all take the Palestinians.
And let them.
They could.
Possibly live happily ever after.
But they don't.
Yeah. They choose not to. Well, we're back to the same thing you were talking about within our state. It's the hierarchy. They're not like us.
Well, but these other states are constantly, or other countries are constantly accusing Israel of doing nothing to bring about the peace process. They could ensure peace by simply absorbing.
And then Israel could have all of the Gaza Strip.
Well, they won't, because that's what's happened in Syria. That's when Syria started allowing lots and lots of these Palestinian groups in way back. They had to kick them back out because they start protesting, and then they start having problems in Syria, right?
So then that outliers can't come into so isn't that supporting the idea that you need
I get the idea that maybe other Arab countries don't like Palestinians, but are afraid to say so. Let Israel take the brunt of all of the criticism. But if you truly love your Arab brothers, I would think.
Wow.
Because, gosh,
we go.
If you truly love
crux.
Christians, if you truly love your Christian brothers, you allow them to
help them.
Yeah, I mean, right? Well, that's not supposed to work.
You want to put the Ten Commandments up. Why else are you doing that? You're putting forth your message, and your message is that we are kind and loving, and
but don't have any other gods.
But and don't be different. Don't be different.
And that question is going to come up. Well, Allah, is it different than God? Ooh. Big question.
Okay. Well, you're assuming that you'll have those things in public school in the
put them
5-10 years.
They're going to do it.
No, I don't mean no. Oh, absolutely. The 10 Commandments are going to come to the classroom.
Until a court says no, which has happened numerous times in other states. So we'll see.
It's not going to happen here.
It'll go federal. Federal government.
Their rail,
I don't think.
the Landry train is moving. Fast,
yes,
and it will happen unless the voters say,
"Stop it!
What are you doing?
Quit it." You work for us.
Thank you. That's okay. So public education in 10 years, going to be.
Well, you just nailed it.
What?
They don't think they work for us. They work for those people who contribute to their candidacy. But they don't work for us.
Well, I think what they're doing is working for a state that they're creating for themselves and their people.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, they're working for their tribe.
Yeah.
And their tribe has money. and this is what they want for Louisiana. So they need that lower class to be there to work for them.
Yes.
So they can't be smart because they might ask questions. We know that education makes people ask questions, and well, we can't have that because they might recognize the situation. So, yeah. All right. Well, state of Louisiana. There you are. And that's only a little.
But the big one was freedom of speech and open records.
Open records.
Open records. The moment we lose open records in Louisiana, it's going to be a bad day because anybody who knows anything about Louisiana knows that corruption. Louisiana has been known for I don't even know how long as the most corrupt state in the union. Number one, just like with chlamydia. And,
it's
and now you want to completely put all of that into the dark.
Okay.
You couldn't research. You wouldn't be able to find public records about
what the
police abuse,
city of Elton's mayor is doing, or who buried all those men of color behind the jail, and none of it. Of course, is there documentation? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's what's the word I want? A cluster of fudge.
Cluster fudge.
See, I told you I was being good today.
Well, apparently
I didn't have a cider. I didn't drink.
There you go.
That's what happened. I knew we were having a somewhat serious
Me neither,
topic
actually.
episode. Yeah. Okay, there you go. You got us both sober today.
How about that?
As if I'm actually intoxicated normally.
Oh.
Yeah, I know one cider, and man.
I think they know.
Shut up. Well, we've given you some things to think about, I guess, is all I can say about today's show. Do you have an idea for a topic title?
For this one? I don't.
Befuddled in the boot?
Well, I had I have a fellow teacher who said that if Huey Long was the kingfish, he's worried that Landry might be the blowfish.
He's blowing real hard. A lot of hot air. But you know what? It seems to be believed because he's getting it done.
It's making it happen.
He's pressing on.
Well, him in the legislature, man. But
he's lined it up with his people.
Yeah.
We're back to
these
this
legislators,
though,
are proposing just
the most
I'm
ludicrous
sorry.
thing.
That is so
Turkey
ludicrous.
Creek. I mean, come on.
Just the people don't need to know. God, can you imagine?
We'd complain if she was from New Orleans too, though, or Baton Rouge.
Yeah.
But it's his people. They are systematically in small enclaves setting up the foundation to create their paradise.
Yes.
Their tribe, their community. And we're all going to be on the back end. They took lunches from kids.
Well,
we don't want to take those federal dollars.
Oh, those,
yes,
the summer program.
Yes.
Yeah.
We're not going to feature.
We're not taking those federal dollars. They come with strings attached.
I am here to tell you, folks, that those kids need those lunches. This is the last year our kids can have free lunches, and you know that many days they take extra juices, they take extras, and they're bringing that stuff home.
Because if they don't have that, they're going to eat nothing but crap.
Oh, it's horrible.
They already eat crap.
They do, but you know what? They're so sad. Okay.
And almost everything I see kids eating now has some risk of cancer.
Oh, yeah.
Because of the dyes.
We have to go back to the food thing again because that's been a big. There's been a lot of development.
I did hear somebody say because red food dye is actually a cancer-causing agent. Like they use it's like red dye number 6 or something.
Well,
like
they got rid of one in the 70s when we were kids.
But there's like 3 other red dyes, number 8 and whatever.
Oh, and those are okay.
But no, this is what I thought was funny. I looked it up the other day. What do they use in Europe? Because those dyes are banned in Europe. What do they use for red food coloring in Europe? Beet juice.
Oh, wow.
Hey,
that's
weird.
That's a novel thing.
Beet juice.
I don't know where we would have found that information.
I don't know.
We'd have to go back in history. They love to go back in history right now to get laws from the past, and we're going to use those to support our laws today. Oh, it said in 1840 that a woman couldn't do this. So yes, that's
age of consent in Arizona. Don't forget.
What, 9?
No, it's 10.
Oh, 10.
Don't be crazy. 9. Come on. It's 10.
All right. Now it's gone off the rails on
we should wrap it up.
The butt-fuddled train in the boot.
The butt-fuddled train. I like it.
Well, that's what we're on.
The good train buttle. But
the boot is being butt-fuddled, and it's a problem.
There's a boot up. Okay.
There's a boot up our butt-fuddle.
Yes.
Is that where you were trying to get to? All right. There might be a topic.
Butt-fuddled booty.
There might be a title there somewhere. All right, people, your joy is portable. You're going to put it on a train and not take it to Louisiana. How about that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Take your joy with you and take it into the voting booth and do the right thing.
Be happy. Say something kind.
I know. Be nice to people.
You beautiful people.
All right.
See you in 2 weeks.
Bye.